Welcome to Newsworthy Stories with Jacqueline Jimenez. There were two things I was hoping to accomplish this year. One was government contracting and how to secure a government contract, and the other was international trade. And so far, I have been able to do both of those things through the Broward County Office of Economic and Small Business Development. I went to the Florida International Trade and Cultural Expo, known as FITSE, and I wanted to give you a better idea today of who was in the room.
Let's say you're abroad and you're traveling. Need 220? No problem. Need 110? Which one you want?
If you have a patent here or trademark, you may think it's applicable in other markets, in foreign markets, but it's not. You have to register also in other markets. And it may take a while to register in individual markets, but there are treaties like the Paris Treaty that allow us to register in multiple markets at once.
A watch that controlling you as a healthcare person, like a nurse or a CNA or HHA, and then it tells you exactly that you cannot do 16 hours. You are burning out. You need to take a break. You have to rest. So don't go over 16 hours, but do 8 hours. If you can do 16 hours, you'll let you know that you're okay to do 16 hours.
There were people from all over the world in that room. But what was surprising to me is that many of those vendors were actually working from the United States. They had already created those relationships abroad, and they were helping small businesses do the same. So that was really refreshing to me because it was actually somebody I could reach out and touch, and not just somebody I could meet and hopefully gain a relationship with, but also people who were already in the US, somewhere I could actually drive to if I wanted to ask more questions about how to do international trade with the countries I wanted to work with. And surprisingly, again, I came across a familiar face for me. The Italian delegation. Normally they send Italian representatives, but this year they had an entire delegation dedicated to Italy. And as a military brat, I spent several years living in Italy, so I was drawn to see what this Italian delegation had, and boy, was I glad that I did. At the Florida International Trade and Cultural Expo, known as FITSE, it wasn't hard to tell you had reached the Italian delegation because there was an entire wing dedicated to it. I was drawn to it because I spent 4 years living in southern Italy, and it's one of my favorite childhood memories. But what stopped me in my tracks was this olive oil company called La Finizza, because I knew the olive oil you buy from the grocery store in the US would not compare to the real thing. Alfredo Marasciulo and his counterpart was there to greet me with a taste test and the reason the company had come to FITSE.
These companies produce 10 different kinds of extra virgin olive oil of 10 different varieties that come from 5 different regions: Sicily, Calabria, Campania, Apulia, and Tuscany. This company is first time in USA, and they are searching for an importer or distributor in order to distribute and to sell in all USA or in Florida to start. This is for you, a present. 6 different varieties.
Wait, I wish I could turn it around. Yay!
Alfredo invited me to come out the second day of the expo for the workshop he was putting on, and I did. Dozens of people settling in to hear what he had to say, and he took us on a history lesson.
Olive is a fruit that in old time were pressed. Now we don't press anymore. We centrifugate, we extract oil from olive. In Italy exist more than 500 different varieties. The difference are by smell, are by flavor, are by healthy capacity of the single different varieties.
Without much nudging, people lined up for a taste of La Fanesa for themselves.
Well, what are your thoughts?
Absolutely delicious. I could have this every day.
For people that love like olive oil, oh, that was amazing.
Oh, we are at the second edition. Actually, we are the first country pavilion in the history of Vice. So I'm really honored to lead this business delegation, composed by 27 delegates. So now into wine, we have olive oil company, fashion, marine, and Italian school. And we already start thinking about the third edition. So see you next year at Vice.
Great thanks to La Fanesa for the wonderful hospitality they gave me. They will have to share an update with Newsworthy Stories on when they find a distributor in the United States. In the meantime, you can find it online at lafanesa.it. I had such a great time getting to know the Italian delegation. They were just so welcoming to me. If you've never been a part or wanted to know more about international trade, I recommend that you reach out to the Broward County Office of Economic and Small Business Development and see what they're actually doing. I have some exciting news to talk about. Dr. Thelma Tenney, who is the CEO and founder of Healing Arts Institute, is going to be on the cover of Legacy South Florida, a major magazine in the area that highlights the difference makers in our community. Dr. Thelma Tenney's nonprofit, Healing Arts, actually offers no-cost mental health services primarily to youth and their families. And we know the crisis that is going on in this country and the importance of it. I've been talking to you about the Unmasked Gala that's coming up that benefits Healing Arts and raises money to offer those free services. So I want to share in this story, in this show today, with more on the Healing Arts Institute, and congratulations to not only Dr. Tenney, but more from the others that will be on the cover of that magazine as well and highlighted in Legacy South Florida. The Unmasked Gala, organized by the nonprofit Healing Arts Institute, is filled with fun, elegance, fellowship, and fine dining. And you're invited. It's also an evening of engaging and inspirational insight.
That's what the kids hear. The kids, they see that I went to the NFL, but they also see that I got suspended twice. And they want to know how I bounced back from that. And it's all about mentality. Unfortunately, what was done, and I had to take an approach to try to get myself out of that. Now my reputation was ruined, so now I can actually focus on myself. I can actually be who I want to be.
An empowering question never, ever, ever starts with the word why, ever. Why brings in defensiveness, which brings in the ego, which brings in emotions, and when emotions go up, intelligence goes down. It's true for every human being. And oftentimes we think, I've had people say to me, oh, I know, Carol, man, when I get angry, I say things I don't mean.
And once you learn how to be yourself, I promise you others will accept you. And how do you get to be yourself, right? I'm sure you all hear that a lot. It's sharing those stories and allowing those who will judge you because of your mistakes and your past to go on right ahead, and then you know those aren't my people, right? But my people know. My people know what I've been through.
You don't want to miss the Unmasked Gala on October 21st. Scan the QR code and register or sponsor this event to raise money to offer no-cost mental health services primarily to youth and their families. A major initiative in the U.S. Virgin Islands and the Caribbean picking up momentum as the search for business-minded high school and college students intensifies. The USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service, in partnership with James Amps of Amps International, seeking participants for the next Amps Entrepreneurship Leadership Institute retreat in St. Croix on October 27th through the 29th. The goal is to generate interest in the field of agriculture and conservation by building a business around solving problems in the industry.
Be a part of the agricultural process and understanding healthy living, wellness, all that goes with living a healthy, nutritional life.
And agriculture is worldwide. I don't care what you do in your life, it's going to pertain to agriculture somewhere. Okay, I don't care if it's the clothes you wear, the food you eat, whatever. The hair products you use, it's going to relate to agriculture somewhere.
This will be the second time within a year the retreat will be held in St. Croix. The students, who will also receive a year-long mentorship, are not just learning about business, but competing for investment dollars in a pitch competition. If you missed the first one, don't miss this one. To register, go to ampsinstitute.com. That's ampsinstitute.com. James Amps of Amps International, LLC, taking it up a notch with its Amps Entrepreneurship Leadership Institute retreat in Puerto Rico. Students attending from Argentina, St. Thomas, St. Croix, and Puerto Rico. Some participants driving hours to attend. AMPS Institute is building a bridge between three of the islands of the same region because they are all facing a similar threat: food sustainability and conservation.
Agriculture is worldwide. I don't care what you do in your life, it's going to pertain to agriculture somewhere. Okay, I don't care if it's the clothes you wear, the food you eat, whatever. The hair products you use, it's going to relate to agriculture somewhere. Who's going to be the disruptor to come up with something magical that the USDA, NRCS, or anybody, any agency, government agency would say, I want to fund this. I want to put $100,000 into this. I want to put 1.2 million into this. I want to put 5 million into this because I want you to grow it. And I want the research and development in this particular category. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for folks who want to do something different. My model's always been, if you want something that you've never had, you've got to do something that you've never done.
We're trying to bring new professionals to agriculture and conservation regardless of where you want to be. You can have any careers, but as long as you're conservation-minded, agriculture-minded, that's a plus for us in USDA. So that is our purpose.
This retreat was sponsored by the USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service in partnership with the University of Puerto Rico School of Agriculture. It's an effort to generate interest among young people in the field of agriculture and conservation, because at least 98% of the food and water in the region is reportedly imported. AMPS Institute also gaining support from the Future Farmers of America, 4-H clubs, the Boys and Girls Club, along with the Vocational School of Agriculture, all sending participants to this retreat.
Right, so your network will determine your net worth. One of the things we do here at AMPS is create a group on WhatsApp so that you stay in touch. And then about 30 days after we leave here or sooner, we're in touch with you. We want to make sure that you connect and connect and connect.
The AMPS Institute knows the best way to build a business is to solve a problem, so they take the participants to the source. In this case, the Doña Carmen Farm Incorporated,
or Cesar Perez welcomed the crew.
Bienvenidos a todos, buenos días. Mi nombre es César Pérez de León, agricultor de a pie.
This is the most important part of the garden. From this, yeah, we use everything. Plantains, smashed plantains, tostones. So everybody eats mofongo.
Is that right?
Yeah, and everybody wants it all time of the year. So farmers and agriculturists that have this, they get a high demand on it.
So plantains and bananas are triploid. They don't produce a seed that you plant. So they produce what we call a son. So the seed is actually not a seed, it's the plant.
So they propagate it.
So no, the plantain is producing those kits. You see that one over there pretty big?
These little shrubs?
Right, so you harvest this. It has a big tuber in that, and then that's what you plant over there.
So what are your thoughts on the farm so far?
Well, this is really pretty cool. I'm learning a lot, and it's just a few minutes. Like, we are here 5 minutes, and I already learned about the bacteria and everything that you have on the plants. So, well, let's keep learning.
I really like the system of how they divide it into different little fields. So, because in the market, I've heard that over here, the plantain is really volatile. So the prices range up and down a lot. And so what he does here is he does it for different times of the year. So for example, if one of his little fields got into the part where the value is really low, the other ones could be really high, and it balances out.
The AMS Institute is already making an impact. Les Genesis Huertas lives just 10 minutes away from this farm and didn't even know it existed. Now she's hoping to volunteer and include others from the future farmers of America. From the farm, we headed to what's called the incubator, where agriculture meets high tech. Luis Torres showing the students what types of innovation is
this
in
size
the works.
is super made in 2 years. I make this 11 hours in 3D printer.
Wow. And one of these planted provides 5 additional ones.
Yeah.
It expands.
That's correct.
The
Hurricane Maria affected all around the Island Coral Reef Zone. This project is for help accelerate the program to the corals in the zone.
Well, my name is Ivan Arocho. I am from San Sebastián, Puerto Rico. I have a farm about 18.6 acres. I think this technology is a good thing. It's more effective way because that will give you more information, and it's very good for the cow. It can milk the cow 3 or more times a day.
When we're talking about food production, we want a balance of technology and traditional farming methods in order to produce everything that we eat. So I think today we saw an example of a traditional farm where they have plantains. Well, so far plantains cannot be produced on a vertical garden system. Now, vertical gardens are very efficient for leafy greens, tomatoes, peppers. That can be very useful in cities, in different settings. So to feed a population, you need both methods. You need technology, you need vertical gardens, you need urban gardens, but you also need traditional farmers that have all the orchards, fruit, avocado, mangoes, because those don't grow on a hydroponic.
What makes the makeup of these students so unique is that some only spoke English, while others only spoke Spanish.
Yauco's rivers are better.
The bilingual students stepping up to the challenge.
Of the farmer itself having the marketplace.
It's an obstacle these young entrepreneurs had to overcome in order to work together to develop a business for their pitch competition.
Ms. Juan Casimiro, thank you. Good firm handshake, okay? Good eye contact, good smile. Oftentimes people shake hands, they don't even smile. Start with the smile and make sure that the handshake is a tight handshake, firm. Now, what happens if her handshake is weak or soft? What perception may I get?
Not confident.
Maybe not confident. Maybe not interested in even meeting me, right? Smile creates another smile. See, you just did it, right? So why don't you look to your left and to your right and just simply smile to each other. Ay, qué lindo. All right. So
it was time to put their ideas to work. Teams gathering together, brainstorming, and building a real business plan, including crunching the numbers. They had to face judges in the morning who were going to question what they learned.
Wanting to try our business, which is Compost. After a few months, we have a chief executive officer.
Hi, my name is.
After a few practice runs, it was time to take a moment of meditation, a walk to the beach for Midnight Madness, a personal moment for James Amps to thank each participant for coming and to encourage them.
We'll get better together, but anything you need, man, we're right here. So very proud of you that he's coming here for something that you never even knew about.
The next morning, a few final preparations to prepare for the pitch. With the introduction of the judges, it was showtime.
welcome Safe for All.
Good afternoon, my name is William Cruz. I am COO. Our business is called Safe for All, and our slogan is Be Happy, Be Healthy.
I want to highlight that we are a non-profit botanical garden focused to serve and especially embrace a good mental health, providing a safe space from nature for everyone that needs it.
Michelle Maynard, and I'm the CIO. Our competitors are the Cool Gardens, the Botanical Gardens of Caguas, and the Guanaca Sunflower Farm.
The things that we're gonna need to start our business is gonna be permit and license, basic infrastructure, constructions, plants and trees, garden equipment and tools, and the store inventory.
Good afternoon, my name is David Alejandro Matos Santos. I am the CEO. I'm from Puerto Rico and I live in Barranquitas. My English is not good, but I am practice and I am going to do my best.
Good afternoon, my name is Laurelis Rivera Villanueva and I'm CMO of Wabi Compost.
Let me just start with this. We live in a country where their wastelands are in their limits. And those wastelands have 30% of organic material waste. Apart from that, neighboring countries like St. Thomas, the Virgin Islands in general, have 2/3 of compostable materials that are yet to be used. How can youth learn, be motivated to reduce those percentages?
From the process of the compost, how you're going to connect the school with the farmers or the agriculture.
We're gonna connect the youth with the farmers. We already have some farmers that during the business plan, we call some local farmers we already knew. And we just ask a simple question. Well, are you willing to buy compost? How do you see compost? They said yes, and some even said that they don't find people that do compost for them. Doing compost apparently is really hard in Puerto Rico.
One of the fincas that I talked to was Finca Perla Borincana, and I talked to one of the managers, and he told me that this business idea, it was really good because he was really interested in compost because it helped his terrain, and also in the school, the main target is that we can benefit the school because as public schools in Puerto Rico, we don't get a lot of funding for our school. So by making the profit, the students, the payment, I guess, for students will be community service hours because we have to graduate with those hours, and also half of the funding that we made is going to go to the school.
So in Puerto Rico, there have been some problems due to farmers having excess feces
causing the overflow of feces to reach bodies of water. That then results in farmers losing their license, decreasing the amount of farmers that we have on hand, then increasing our food insecurity.
When you're talking about Farming Alliance for a big component of your expenses, how do you plan to make that work, assuming that some of the farmers may not have this equipment themselves?
I already contacted some of the farmers, which they have the machines, the pickup truck, the wagon. The only real challenge would be the acquiring the services of the machine repairs.
Are you gonna give me a specific percent of your production of that fertilizer so I can use it in my farm? Will you define that?
We have been thinking of giving a discount to the farmers that contribute to our business. Like, they gave us the feces, and then when we prepare the fertilizer, we gave that to them with a discount, or sometimes even free, at least at the beginning, because we first need to get known by other corporations, create the alliances. At least at this first phase, we're going to give certain discount to the farmers that help us.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jorge Iván Rivera Torres, CEO of Caribbean AGX, and I account with knowledge with farming and financials. And today we'll be presenting Caribbean AGX.
Hello, my name is Susanna Calhoun. I am from St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, and I am the COO of Caribbean AGX, and my specialty is writing about social justice and equity issues.
Good afternoon, dear judges. My name is Virginia Ciancia. I'm 16 years old. I live in Argentina, and I'm the founder and CMO of Caribbean AGX. And I'm the youngest person in Latin America to be certified by Meta.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Camila Muñiz. I'm the CBO of Caribbean AGX, and also I am a state former president of the organization Future Farmers of America, and I am an actual student of animal science and pre-vet.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ivan Arocho. I am the CFO of Caribbean AGX. I am from San Sebastián, Puerto Rico, and I am a farmer, and I study in agronomy.
Well, what we want to do is create an e-commerce platform where farmers can buy products, and farmers can get transport for the products, and where they can match and find workers for the products. It will be a company majorly focused on giving a service, and we will have a commission, and it's characterized by being a business entity as a partnership.
Well, we have a surprise, by the way, for our sharks. Yes.
You're a farmer, yes? What is your expectations in terms of outcomes for your, as you as a farmers with this company? In terms of, how do you expect you to be served by this platform, and what are your expectations in terms of your outcome as a farmer?
Well, for example, I work with cows, and these days it's very difficult to find vaccines or medication for cows, and I think this website can help me to deliver my medication for my cows, for my animals.
Si la compañía no le suple el agua, pues ellas no tienen nada. Por eso buscamos una mejor solución.
I'm going to translate for him for what he said. His name is Daxel. He's our CIO, and he was the brains in all this project. He was a hands-on person that did everything. We took our technical and our imagination, and he made it work. So he had the idea of taking the salt water into a tank, purifying it into another tank so that could recycle into a vertical plant wall. So that was his idea, and that's our main project.
How are you going to take that saltwater desalination to a farm in the mountains?
So basically, when we started talking, when we started doing our network thing, when we met her, she told us that they only had one company there that provided them water. The other thing, they relied on salt water. And that's why agriculture wasn't able to grow there. So we wanted to make sure that at least a community had a prototype that they can rely on for agriculture, because everything is important.
My suggestion is for you to focus on the system, because the system is your real product.
Yeah.
And you have a unique system and a unique opportunity. You know, you are solving a real issue for an island, and in order to scale the process, you need to be more focused on how is the cost, the time that you are going to spend in the process, and then you can add the other things of education, all the social responsibility of the process. But you need to be more in depth of the system, because you have a really good system.
Okay, before we go to the next, be multilingual if you can. Most of you are. Rectors or the...
We had a great time. It was amazing to have the 4-H Club and the Future Farmers of America and the Boys and Girls Clubs out here. We had students from St. Thomas. We had our ambassador from St. Croix. So it was just amazing how they all meshed together. A lot of them spoke no English. There was about 3 of them that spoke no English, but they still were able to talk with their groups and figure out what their businesses were and to communicate with each other and to build those relationships. So very proud of all these students who came out here, and after watching their presentations, even more proud. So look forward to the next step. We look forward to St. Croix. Get ready.
Caribbean AGX.
Susan Cameron, Camila Muñiz, and Jorge Rivera. Congratulations.
For more information about James Amps of Amps International LLC or the Amps Entrepreneurship Leadership Institute Retreat, go to ampsinstitute.com.